Hello everyone, and welcome to another royal reading. It's a bit of a gloomy Saturday afternoon here, and just as I pressed the record button there was a rumble of thunder, an ominous rumble of thunder, and as I'm recording this reading I suspect that Harry is recording his own a far more controversial session with Dr. Gabor Mate, and no doubt there will be scandal and intrigue to follow. But in the meantime, I thought we'd keep it light today while that saga is busy unfolding over in California. And we'd keep it light today and we'd look at some celebrity stories swirling around Harry and Meghan. And I am using the Wandering Star for this first one because it involves a few wandering stars. The primary one being the Australian actress Rebel Wilson, and she showed up on a chat show, very entertaining, and she does seem like somebody who doesn't care much, who will tell the things that we would all like to know, the inside goss and stuff like that. And the inside goss was about the polo last year when Harry was playing with his dear friend Nacho in Santa Barbara, and Rebel Wilson was there, and I do remember that. I did read on the polo way back when. It's in last year's Royals playlist, and there was Rebel Wilson, allegedly, or apparently not allegedly. She says they have a mutual friend, a polo player. One assumes that would be Nacho, who seems to know everybody, very well connected man. But Rebel was asked how it was meeting Harry and Meghan, and she said, Harry was lovely, but Meghan not so much, which caused great hilarity in the studio. And then she went on to say how her mum, who is a proud Australian, not shy to ask those pressing personal questions, interrogated Meghan, I'm paraphrasing, asked her all kinds of personal questions, including the one we all want to know the answer to: where are your kids? And again, the studio all erupted in knowing laughter. And the dog at this moment has climbed off his bed. He's having his afternoon nap and come to sit with me here as I do the reading. So, Wandering Star Tarot on the tarot table, rumbles of thunder, dog on high alert suddenly. We're going to do a quick 7-card reading, and let's remind you as I shuffle, it is just a tarot reading for entertainment purposes, all just speculation, rumour, gossip, all just my opinion, all energy. Read on the royals because they're archetypal, and there is a disclaimer in the box below. But if we're going to do a reading, we're going to ask how Rebel Wilson really felt about Meghan. Well, she has told us, but why? We're going to ask also how Meghan felt about being grilled by Mum, and what her response was about the invisible children, the absent children. And then we're going to ask 2 questions about the children. We're going to ask where they were then, or how they were then, where and how, what universe wants to tell us about them. It was the last summer in the Northern Hemisphere that this was all going on, as far as I can recall. And then we're going to ask the 7th question: where are the children now? How are the children now? Because we don't see them. We saw glimpses of them in the Netflix documentary. If you bothered to watch it, I didn't. Some strange tales in Harry's book Spare that were so implausible about birth narratives and things like that, in my opinion, that I didn't even bother to read on them because they just seem so farcical. The laughing gas story, the epidural and home half an hour later, those sorts of stories that, in my opinion, weren't even worth reading on because they just didn't stack up at all. So curious, we are curious to know, just like Rebel Wilson's mum is curious to know, where are the kids? And also, how are the kids? The eternal question, a troubling question if you are a royal watcher. And of course, let's throw in a shower of allegedlys and remind you about the disclaimer in the box below. Right now, we're doing this for fun while we wait for Harry to bare his soul to Gabor Mate. And 7 cards, there they are, a Wandering Star Tarot, and our underlying Our underlying card, can you see it? Let me put the deck out the way, is the Justice card, but the Justice card in reverse. Justice card is legal proceedings. It says balance, equality, balance, equality. But justice is more than that. Justice is about karma, is about legal proceedings, bad karma, and dodgy, legal troubles. When the Justice card is in reverse, I just need to say that it's one of the many interpretations of the card. Let's stick it over here. It is about balance. It's about a situation that's unbalanced, a situation that is troubling, pretty much. A marriage that might be out of balance, that might have been why there were some bad vibes on that day. Those were the days, of course, I might even have been that particular day when Megan was wearing that sort of Audrey Hepburn outfit, but a very poor reflection, imitation of the, what's that musical? I've lost my mind now. You know, the one where they go to the races, they go to Ascot, and Megan was trying to push everyone out of the way to grab the trophy, which wasn't even the winning prize, and trying to wrestle some young lad's prize possession out of his hands. He hung on grimly. It was all very hilarious. Those happy days, those innocent days before death and despair and disaster and all kinds of things befell the royals. Anyway, Justice in reverse tells me all kinds of things. It tells me situations out of balance, legal proceedings, bad karma, what goes around comes around. All of that does not bode well. But anyway, let's have a look at the heart of this reading. What are we on about here? We're on about the same thing. We're on about the Two of Pentacles, which is trying to balance a situation and trying to juggle things and trying to keep all your balls in the air. We literally have a juggler in the royal family, happy to juggle outside the window while Meghan was promoting her 40 by 40 campaign, which failed dismally. But yet trying to keep those balls in the air, trying to keep those plates spinning, trying to keep all those stories going that might contradict each other, as I was saying in my preamble about the birth narrative. Very odd tales, the kinds of tales that normal couples have about their own deliveries and things like that, what happened and how they felt. The first few weeks and months of adjusting to life with no sleep and all the rest of it, with bodies that have changed and marriages that have changed and homes that have changed and lives that have changed beyond recognition. None of that. Curious. But I focus on laughing gas. Anyway, I'm being distracted now. But Two of Pentacles, trying to keep those balls in the air and failing with that Justice card in the reverse as the underlying energy. Interesting. So how did Rebel Wilson feel about Meghan Markle? Just want universe to give us a card to tell us what's going on. Six of Cups, unhappy. Just somebody that interesting, because sixes are about harmony and reconciliation. This one says it's about your past, your childhood, your friends, your family, the things that you've loved for a long time. But it's a card that's in the reverse. Felt that somehow she was a source of disharmony. Interesting. Perhaps disharmony in the friendship there, because there were friends there, not only Nacho. I think there were other people around. I think David Foster and his wife were there, or one of his daughters was there. People like that, old friends might have been kicking around that we weren't necessarily aware of. Trouble, fly in the ointment, trouble in paradise. Saw her as that, saw her as disruptive. I'm putting words in Rebel Wilson's mouth. This is my opinion, this is my speculation, this is my interpretation of the energy and of the cards. But Six of Cups in reverse is somebody who is breaking up friendships, is casting shadows, long shadows over childhood friends, family friends, the past. Not a good energy, not a positive energy, not at all. A downer, a disruptor and a negative influence. Why in particular did she feel this? Anything that universe can add to this? Why in particular? Four of Swords. Four of Swords is about somebody who really needs to step out of the limelight and lay low, that their reputation has been damaged. I think that Rebel Wilson picked up that Megan was feeling ignored, neglected, that her reputation wasn't doing as well as it should have been doing, and that she begrudged it. That's again my opinion. The vibe that I'm getting off that card, Four of Swords, that she was overcompensating for the way things were going in her life. They'd had that fall tour in New York, and they'd had the odd thing. Nothing had really taken off. Nothing had really succeeded. Harry was the one who was suddenly out and about. He was the one playing polo and standing on that little funny podium and getting awarded some cup, not Megan. And I think it riled her, and I think Rebel Wilson, obviously perceptive, she's a Pisces, Googled her, and she seems to be a Pisces. Pisces, very intuitive, very aware, pick up those kind of subliminal signals, can basically look into your mind and see how you're doing and how you're feeling. Very, very, very psychic Pisces, and often why they have to weigh themselves down with carbs, shall we say, to deal with it. Not only Pisces, but it's a byproduct of being so empathetic. That's sometimes difficult to deal with those energies. Please don't be offended by me saying that. It's just my own observation of these things, very much my own opinion of things like that. I'm not body shaming or anything like that. But seeing that Megan felt out of sorts, nose out of joint, that she wasn't the focus of attention, that she was basically being put out to pasture, retired, defeated, and not liking it. So that's quite an interesting explanation, quite interesting cards that have come up there. So how did Meghan Markle feel about being grilled by mum so relentlessly and intrusively? How did she feel about mum's questioning? Queen of Pentacles, indignant. Queen of Pentacles in reverse. So mind your own business and go away. The Queen of Pentacles is very grounded and loyal and solid, and she's very smiley and generous and shares things. Earth mum, kind of a goddess kind of energy, domestic goddess. That's the Queen of Pentacles when she's upright. When she's in reverse, mean, not interested in sharing the love, closed off, arms folded across her chest, go away, I'm busy counting my pentacles, quite haughty, quite up her own you know what, without alerting the machine to rude words. The machine that has got very intrusive on YouTube. So Queen of Pentacles in reverse, didn't like it, was indignant, was almost outraged, probably silent and staring in disbelief and disdain even. What was her response to where are the kids? Did she laugh? Did she come up with some story? What did she say? How did she handle that question? Ten of Pentacles in reverse. Well, she didn't like that question at all. She really, really, really didn't like it. Family, property, inheritance, it's all of that stuff, the Ten of Pentacles. It's very royal family. It's very much there in the line of succession. None of your business. Both of these cards are telling me none of your business. These children are too lofty to be here. They are members of the royal family. Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet wouldn't lower themselves to be here at the polo with mere pedestrians like you. But it's more troubling than that. It's much more troubling. That Queen of Pentacles in reverse and the Ten of Pentacles in reverse. Something just doesn't stack up about home, about family, about the Queen of Pentacles is the wife in the tarot. She's the good wife in the reverse, and not a good wife, not a good mother, not a good support. And problems with family and with security. It just out of sight, mysteriously out of sight. Those Ten of Pentacles in reverse, those kids are in the line of succession, but where are they? And how did they get to be in the line of succession is a question that many people are exercised by, including, it seems, possibly Rebel Wilson's mum. No good answer. If it was 10 of Pentacles upright, they're with family. They're safely at home. Don't you worry about them. They're with Granny. That's very 10 of Pentacles. Granny is looking after them. But 10 of Pentacles in reverse, none of your business. And we don't know where they are. So let's ask remaining questions of this curious tarot reading. Where were they then? How were they then? And where are they now? How are they now? Past and now. Past, where were they then? Ace of Wands in reverse. That's such a strange card because it's a card of no good, no new beginning. It's almost a don't exist card. I just have to say that because that's the energy that's coming off. Aces upright are powerful energy of yes. New energy, and with Wands, creative energy. It's a 1. And we were heading towards the first birthday at that stage. Very, 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 very strange, especially with the Justice card in reverse. Very strange that this is just, don't go there. There's no good news around this. There's nothing positive to tell about this because Wands are also PR. They are creativity, their inspiration, their excitement, their energy, their enthusiasm. We've got that card in reverse. It's whatever was going on back then. It had to be hidden, not talked about. Don't want to discuss it, and it was bad news. Very, very, very bad news. So strange. The energy around these children is constantly strange. I personally believe that there are somewhere, somehow, children. But more than that, anyone's guess. One of the reasons I keep doing these readings, because it's fascinating. They're public figures, and yet there is so much mystery around them, and the more information that they put out, their own sources, the more mysterious it gets. For instance, that birthday photo of Lilibet, which was very curious. Miss Harriman, who has admitted to photoshopping pictures of Meghan Markle in the past. Now, where are they? What's going on? What does universe want to tell us about the Harcourt children? What is going on? The Fool. So we're getting some kind of new beginning. Please let that not be a new child. Oh no. But a new story that might be coming out about them. New start, new adventure, new journey. These children are in some kind of new journey. It could be a new journey just with mum. Could be. They're about to step off on some new venture that could be. The card has the word risks on it. That could be quite risky for them, and I don't mean endangering them physically or anything like that. Just new, very new, away from the royal family, off on a different path. Because it looks like time in the royal household is over, and as with the eviction from Frogmore Cottage, there could be other losses. There could be titles that go. There could be sorry but no titles for children, as well as removing Harry and Meghan's titles. There is speculation that that is what's coming next, and so if nothing like that, then the children are off on a very different adventure. It looks like there was big trouble in the past around about a year ago, just over a year ago, well, longer than that possibly. But it was a bad time to be asking those kinds of questions. Very much a bad time. Don't want to know. And Justice card in reverse, bearing in mind everything I've said about that. She herself was a downer, was a wet blanket on things, disruptive influence, probably feeling sour about being sidelined and no longer wanted and not important, not asked to hand out prizes, even though she dressed in her best ginormous black hat for the day. But there's something different coming down for these children. A whole new path, a whole new track, a whole new adventure, a whole new narrative. we might see a lot more of them as they step off into the unknown with mum. I suspect with mum. And again, I'm not predicting harm for them with the Fool card upright. Just new. Something very different. Something quite strangely different coming up soon. That is your rather odd reading. Thanks for watching, and I will get on with the next one.